I want to start by saying I'm a huge fan of the vegan diet and the lifestyle choices that come along with it. But I'm no longer a vegan. I have instead chosen to opt for a majority plant-based diet. Okay, let's take a walk down memory lane. So it was about 6 years ago that I decided to become vegan, mainly because I felt helpless at the state of our environment, our relationship with animals, and I also wanted to change the trajectory of my health in a positive way. So I asked myself, what can I do that has a positive impact, leaves me with a clean conscience without me having to become a full-time activist? This was the first time I was going to adopt a diet for myself.
That's crazy, yo.
And I stayed vegan for 4 years. I remember being extremely bloated for the first 6 months straight. And that was really a result of switching to way too much fiber, but then not increasing my water intake as well. There was definitely a learning curve, but after my body adjusted itself, it was bliss. Now, I'm sure you're aware of this, but veganism has a lot of strong opinions around it. Labels are a funny thing. I remember the biggest concern people had for me was that I wasn't getting enough protein. That's actually incorrect. You get more than enough protein on a vegan diet. Being around non-vegans was tough, always having to explain myself at the dining table about my diet choice, or having to bring my own food to events, or having to justify if I ate a slice of pizza after a night of partying.
What?
So a lot of education was required on my end, and I felt like I needed to defend myself or take a stance anytime we talked about food. Not just with my non-vegan friends, but also with the vegan community. It was, frankly, emotionally exhausting. So 2 years ago, I went for my annual checkup at the doctor to get my blood test done, and I found out that I was anemic, which means I had low iron and hemoglobin, which is the thing that carries blood and oxygen throughout the body. So what I learned was iron from plants requires more intake to produce the same amount of iron that's usable than compared to iron from an animal source, unless the iron from plants is taken with vitamin C. So definitely doable. My blood test also showed that I was low on vitamin B12, which apparently is common for vegans. So I had to start taking supplements for these two things. Taking pills every day made me feel like the diet on its own wasn't sufficient for my body. So I wanted a better solution. I've talked about decision fatigue before on this channel, and I really wanted to eliminate the number of decisions I was making around food and the number of variables I was tracking in order to do that. Enter the plant-based diet, a diet consisting primarily of plant-based foods with little or no animal products. Eating whole foods that are plant-based naturally includes more vegetables and fruits and legumes and grains into our diet, which is scientifically proven to be healthier. So I noticed myself eating a lot more greens and sprinkling in a few animal products. After eating this way for just 3 months and doing a blood test, my iron levels and B12 levels were back to normal. I continue to prefer plant-based meals. However, I'm surrounded by omnivorous eaters, whatever. So if I'm going to an event or cooking a joint meal, I'll eat anything under the sun. As we innovate around food, I'm excited to try the egg, cheese, and seafood alternatives. But until then, I am doing my best to buy sustainably sourced animal products. What this allows me to do is have a more flexible mindset around food instead of that strict policing attitude, which can feel restrictive. I'm a long game kind of gal, and when I think of the word plant-based, it opens up conversations with all kinds of eaters as a flexible and realistic way to eat, causing them to shift their diets, and that is a win for the planet. The vegan cause is a noble cause, and I'm in full support of that movement because it extends beyond food into lifestyle. So if you know anyone who is an advocate doing good work for the environment and the animals, I would love to amplify their message, so please feel free to share their links. And that is it from me. I will see you in the next video.